Okay, part two. Now, this is being recorded on my Windows phone, the Nokia Lumina 920, um, and I just dropped this. It didn't go out, but it did basically knock the ash out of it, kick the ash out of my cigar. So the question is, what the quality of the camera is. All the reviews I had read before I purchased this one was that the camera in this was one of its best features. And just doing comparisons myself, I think that the video is better on the camera that I'm recording on right now. Uh, this part one was recorded on a and this camera is, I'm sorry, this phone is an HTC Inspire. Um, which is a good camera and a good phone. The only reason I got another one, I mean, there's really nothing wrong with this one, except one of the things that annoyed me about this phone was the battery life was horrible. Um, uh, the battery life of the Nokia is better. It's not as good as an iPhone. I'll say that because my son got the same Nokia phone and he had an iPhone 4 and he has found that he has to charge it more often than his iPhone. So just want to make sure the wind isn't going to blow my camera down. Um, but anyway, so the Windows, I'm really hoping that more developers step up and develop more for the Windows Phone. I mean, most of the popular apps are available, like Twitter. There isn't a good uh, um, there isn't a dedicated Facebook app that I've found, except there's a third-party one that's called I think it's called Facebook Pro, but it's not made by Facebook. It's made by a third party, but it's really good. I mean, it's basically it does most of the things that the Facebook app does, and if I want to, I can just use the browser for Facebook, like in the old days. Um, and and on my laptop, that's how I use it. I access Facebook. So anyway, enough about the camera. Um, this is as far as pipe smoking, I really haven't had that. And now I don't know if you can see now. Now I'm going to see if I think that the close-up capability of the Nokia is better, but I don't know if you can see how this is unwrapped. The wrapper is coming off here. Um, Probably because it took a dive off my table onto the deck. Um, but it's a very delicate wrapper, um, and I can say that you know a lot of times cigars will get a little harsh toward the end. This one isn't doing that. It does show some complexity, but it's really not. It's not getting harsh. It is getting a little stronger, for fuller bodied, I guess you'd call it. Um, it's not strong in the sense that I can sense any nicotine kick. But back to the pipe. I haven't had a pipe in weeks. Um, Part of that is it's just the weather has been so cold here. Um, Now I do have my shop I could go into, but I don't know. Uh, I guess I just haven't had the hankering for it. Seem to be smoking cigars more. Just I guess because it's just easier in the cold weather uh, for me. You know, others might have a different opinion, but anyway. So speaking of weather, weather's been weird here. Saturday, today is Tuesday. Saturday it was like 75, 76 here. It was basically it was springtime. And right now, well, yesterday it didn't get out of the 40s. It was uh, it was drizzly and it got up to about 43, 44. Right now it's about 48, and it's supposed to hit about 64 today, I think. And the sun is out. It's it looks like it's shaping up to be a nice day. One other thing that I want to talk about is transportation. We have we have three drivers right now living in this house. The fourth, my oldest son is in Raleigh, which is about 3 hours east of here, and he took one of our cars. Now my younger son used to drive this van. Uh, it's a great van. It's a it's a Chevy Adventure, but unfortunately, it blew a head gasket, um, and it's going to cost at least 2,000, according to the two estimates I've gotten, between 2,000 and 2,500 to fix. And with 180,000 miles, I thought that's just not worth it. Okay, so let me show you. Uh, what I came up with as a solution to that problem. I went out and purchased a 97, which is the same year as the van. This is a Honda Accord, and it is rough. I mean, what I'm gonna do is get some rubbing compound and get, I don't know what these white, it's like white paint is on there, but it's got a matte finish. I'm gonna try to wax it. Now this car was rolled, um, and somebody had tried to fix it by bondoing it. You can see and of course they didn't prepare the steel well enough, so of course it rusted and it's popping out the bondo off. Interestingly enough, the moonroof still works, or sunroof, whatever you want to call it. It'll slide back, and there's no problem. So that's, to me, that's really weird and bizarre. But I paid $550 for it. Now I had to do some work on it to get it. I'd buy tires, front turn signals, all sorts of stuff, just to get it. The power steering was leaking fluid all over the place. So, and of course, the previous owners were smokers, so it really stinks inside. And my son doesn't really like the smell, so that's sort of a problem. But anyway, it runs well. I had to pay to get the air conditioning working, and in this part of the country, you absolutely have to have air conditioning in your car. And that now just went out in the summertime, so it took a while for them to figure out what was wrong with the air conditioner. Of course, when I bought it, you know, the seller said, "Oh yeah, the air conditioner works," but it was a really cold day, and I tried, you know, the air conditioner. Of course, because it was cold, it blew relatively cold air, so I couldn't really tell. But on a warm day, I tried it, and it was obvious that it didn't work. So it took some money. So right now, with all the money I put into getting it up to snuff and safe to drive, I think I've got a total of about $1,400 in it right now. And it has 200,000 miles on it, which for a Honda Accord, you know, those can go, from what I've heard, many more miles than that. It's, you know, hopefully has a lot more life. It's a 4-cylinder. It had a head gasket replacement about 2 years ago, so that won't be a problem. But so I don't know if I did the right thing in buying that, but you know, it's transportation. It's basic transportation, and it finally passed the inspection. Finally, I had to get 2 extensions in order to drive it enough to get all the codes to clear, so I could get the inspection. Here in North Carolina, the inspection includes basically hooking it up and making sure all the systems are working. And of course, they weren't when I first bought it. So anyway, that's that. But if you can comment and just let me know what you think about the quality of these 2 cameras. This current one is my new phone / camera, the Nokia, and the other one was my HTC. So with that, I will bid cheers, and we will see you again.